Hi everyone. Today the topic is about sudden death because recently there are a lot of cases being reported that middle-aged or relatively young people die suddenly. I mean, after sport, after hiking, after badminton, or even some sitting at home taking care of the children, suddenly not feeling well and then just collapse, and some just die instantly. Some are admitted to the hospital 1 or 2 days, then diagnosed death. Then most of that, the biopsy and the result is not biopsy, the autopsy, the result shown that it's a heart problem, it's a heart failure. So let's try to find out what could be the mechanism or the pathogenesis of a sudden death, because it's happened more and more often and we don't know who is the next one. It may be someone close to us. So if there's a possibility to prevent it, then why not? So, but in order to prevent, we must know what is the mechanism. So then we have a clear direction of preventing a sudden death, because it's really getting more and more common. So here are some of the news clips. I couldn't find I didn't have time to convert into English to find the English version of it, because it's a Chinese actress in Malaysia, 36 years old. She was bathing the children in the bathroom. Suddenly she felt unwell and then she just collapsed and then sent to the hospitals, then stayed 2 days, then pronounced death. So this happened recently in October. Then September, another Chinese actor is 51 years old. He just finished his hiking and then came home not feeling well, then collapsed and then bye. So this is September. And then in August, our former badminton national doubles, Tek Chai, Gan Tek Chai, passed away in August, he's a good friend of Datuk Lee Chong Wei. So, and then at the age of 40, he was in Surabaya and then sudden death. Not sure the whole details, but they said it's a heart attack. 40 years old, heart attack. So, and then this is the MCA president of Selangor, 55 years old. He just finished jogging right in front of his house. He collapsed and then died on the spot. So these are the news. And then another, this is in June, a Chinese school teacher in KL, in Sasaran. So 58 years old, almost near retirement, and then she was found dead in her office. So another sudden death. And then this is a Sinju Chipo newspaper news reporter. This year, January, 44 years old, found dead in his car. So you see the range is between late 30 to 50, 60. So very often we hear news like that. It's getting more and more often. So sudden death is getting younger, it's getting more frequent. So when talk about sudden death, of course, some people, because it's after COVID, we hear a lot of these cases. So January, people will link to this thing, vaccine. So I'm not denying it, but it's not the only factor. So let's look at number. Okay, these are the national players of different countries of badmintons. This is a Korean who died at the age of, if not mistaken, is around 30, or died at the 30 plus, 36, 37. And then this is recent Gan, Malaysia. This is an Indonesian. So if you say it's like linked to COVID or the vaccine, why in 2018? Actually, we heard this kind of thing prior to COVID. So another example, a Taiwanese actress, because I didn't have time to look for other, there are actually a lot of sportsmen dying in the Western country. I didn't have time to look for those news clips. But the one I found is that, because I was doing this in Chinese version, so I found some Chinese related cases. So this is a Taiwan actress, a young chap, about 38 years old. In 2019, he died of sudden death. He worked for 17 hours non-stop, because it's not an easy life for an actor. They have a very tight schedule, so overworked. And we heard a lot of celebrities died suddenly as well. So, and then this is a news report. The highlight is that the trend is getting younger. The sudden death trend is younger. The news is in 2019, before COVID happened. And so the number, look at the number. I didn't have time to find it. Actually, you can find this data. It's Malaysian data. You can find KKM. You just find a similar keywords, the death data. So they notice the sudden death is getting younger. It's to average 58 years old. And then in 2007, there are 8,776 people sudden death. They die of because sudden death. And then in 2017, I mean 10 years later, it jumped to 13,000, almost double. So the trend is already pushing up prior to COVID. So, and then this is the cases like prior to COVID. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm not denying there's a possibility vaccine increase the rate of sudden death. But I'm trying to point out there are other factors beside vaccine. We cannot blame all the sudden death to vaccine, because there are other factors that already shown trend prior to COVID or prior to the mass vaccination we had recently. So this is prior to COVID as well. It's during COVID year, but before the vaccine start. A 40 years old headmaster of Chinese school died in the car as well. So look at the number. So after COVID, let's say, actually they did discover there are some cases, the time for vaccination, there means a sudden death. The timeline is so close to the vaccination. The time of vaccination to admission was 3 days. Usually it happens 3 days or on the 9th day. On the 9th day, the sudden death happens. So you might claim it's the body react too much to the vaccine stimulation, the immune system causing the blood clot. So even sometimes not the vaccine, it's the long COVID or someone contract COVID also can cause the clotting. So all these sudden death, they all linked to a blood clot or thrombosis. Later we'll talk about it. But in order to see things in perspective, we have to look in timeline. I already showed you the timeline. The sudden death in young people already happened prior to COVID or prior to the mass vaccination. So of course, after the mass vaccination, and especially in the past few months, I showed a few examples, there are many people die of sudden death. So there are many factors. It's not purely vaccine related. So the vaccines happened in 2011. Generally, people blame all the recent sudden death to the vaccine. Then you don't see things in perspective. So look at the numbers. So the trend is like, this is the cases and this is the years. So you can see the trend actually is picking up because our lifestyle changed since like 20, 30 years ago. We're getting sedentary. It means we don't exercise as much. We take a lot of high calorie food or those funny drinks, bubble tea drinks, fast food, all those things. It has accumulated. Perhaps it's already start maturing. And then it happens, COVID come. Then people start to blame it on the thing. So we have to see things in perspective. Even before COVID, these are the period 2020 and 2002 years COVID lockdown and all the vaccine hoo-ha thing. So these are the years. It could be the vaccine shift the curve slightly higher, but it doesn't deny the underlying problem still at play. So we are seeing more and more death. So we have to see things in perspective. So today I don't want to talk about the vaccine thing. You can do about a link, but what I'm trying to point out is vaccine is not the only factor that causes the increase in the sudden death. Now we look in the things in the bigger picture. What the other possibilities that scientifically proven that linked to sudden death? So one is over-exercise. You heard a lot of stories, people cycling, then suddenly collapse. Badminton, play, hoo-ha, then drink water, then sit down, by a lot of cases. And then jog or long marathon, then suddenly collapse. So I call it over-exercise, a strenuous, certainly too much exercise. Or chronic stress. Someone is living in constant stress or they're not active sport, but they just too pensive and then stressed all the while and suddenly die one day in the office. So these are the two things that scientifically already proved. But today I'm going to point out what is the mechanism behind that cause a certain form of thrombosis or the blood clot that block either your lung or your. So these are the forensics medicine. That means they study those sudden death and then they found out that cardiovascular, respiratory, and central nervous system, which is your brain, disease account for the majority of natural, sudden, unexpected death. So cardio, it means your heart, cardio is your heart, and then respiratory is your lung, and then it's a central nervous system, your brain, or in other words, stroke. So especially coronary, so mostly it's heart. So generally this sudden death, the only thing that can kill you instantly is suddenly the blood stop moving. So it's the blood clot that form. So it's going to the brain, it calls stroke. It's in your heart, then we call heart attack. But in your lung, they call pulmonary something like, means relate to your lung. That means the clot is clot there. Depends on the clots where. But somehow more than 80% is clot of the heart. So they call it generally the autopsy said, it's a heart disease. It's a heart attack for young people who die suddenly. So what causes the clot? So there are two factors. One is a thrombosis, which is the clot. Thrombosis is it's a clump of red blood cell. But the thrombus that move, we call embolus. So, but another factor is atherosclerosis plaque, or generally shortened, it's called plaque. Plaque is a narrowing of the blood vessel. Then you do your ECG, you do your angiogram, they say, this one, how many percent block? This is the plaque. So we have to understand the formation of it. Now we look, first I talk about, because thrombosis, the key word today is thrombosis, but I have to cover plaque as well. This is it. Plaque is a gradual formation of the narrowing of the plaque in your blood vessel, or gradual narrowing of your blood vessel, or your artery. Sorry, it's your artery to be exact. So you see the generally form, the yellow thing is your cholesterol, and then eventually the plaque forms so thick that it blocks the blockage, and then it triggers the cascade of blood clot, and then the blood clot happen and then stop moving, and then you KO. So this is generally plaque. But this formation, this is a mechanism of formation to give you an idea of it. So it's not just people think, oh, cholesterol that block your heart, cholesterol that block your artery, cholesterol. No, cholesterol alone cannot cause heart blockage. You have to understand the mechanism. Because cholesterol, or the so-called bad cholesterol, is called LDL. LDL is produced by your liver. It has a function. It has a function of repairing the cells. We have trillions of cells. It has a function serve as a precursor for hormone, especially your sex hormone. LDL has a function. It's not a bad cholesterol. What makes it bad is this thing, ROS, reactive oxygen species, or we call free radical, something that oxidizes. So once it's in contact, so in general, this is the bloodstream. This is the wall of your artery. So this is where the blood flow. Your cholesterol also come from here. Your LDL have to go out here. They have to go for some place to do its work, its function, like repairing the cell or form hormone, like I mentioned just now. But it's halfway when the cholesterol trying to pass through the cell, the artery wall, it get exposed to this ROS. This ROS oxidize the LDL. The LDL become they call the oxidized. You know, sometimes the peanut you keep for too long, you have some funny smell. It's oxidation, oil oxidized. This is what happens when LDL met with ROS, it get oxidized. So your body will try to get rid of this rubbish. They call for white blood cell. White blood cell will come from the bloodstream and try to chew it. So it chew it and then it form a form cell. That means they chew it and then kamikaze lah, we die together. So the dead body still left in this zone. Then over time, this zone will accumulate too much of the form cell and pushes the wall toward the channels. It means your blood vessel, the space. So it causes the narrowing. This is how plaque form. Until one stage, it formed too high, too tight. The stress is too much. This rupture, this is one of the factors that cause sudden death. But the thing is, this form, ultimately, it's Chinese, I haven't converted to English, yes. This is the culprit, not your LDL. LDL has a function. This one is an excess ROS, don't know where to go. This one is like a gangster running around, shooting around. Once they shoot your LDL, the LDL become a dead body. This is what caused the plaque, not LDL. So you shouldn't worry too much about how much LDL, because LDL alone cannot cause a heart attack. LDL has to go through this process, then it causes the narrowing. This is a time-consuming process. This is a gradual process. So if you understand this, ROS is a culprit. Look at the different perspective, a different picture. So your blood vessel, this is a dissection. Our artery has a wall. This is where the crime scene happened when the cholesterol trying to pass out. So when the cholesterol got oxidized here, the white blood cell will come here. It causes, you see the lumen, the lumen is getting narrow. So over time, this plaque becomes thicker, your arterial lumen becomes smaller. Until one day, they're so small that it caused the slowdown of the blood flow. Your body thought there's an injury or there's a rupture here. As long as whenever your body finds a cut inside the artery, they will form a clotting factor. These clots will happen, and then this is what trigger the thrombosis. It's a combination of plaque and thrombosis. This is the general heart attack happen in the older people. Because first the narrowing happened, the plaque formed first. So if the heart attack is like this, right, they usually have a pre-symptoms. A common pre-symptoms is chest discomfort. They'll find a pulling pain or sometimes feel a very strange sensation. It's like something pressing on especially on the left side. Sometimes you can refer to the right side, but mostly on the left side. And then especially during physical exertion, when they exercise or they climb staircase, they have intense pain and accompanied by shortness of breath. So this is one of the pre-symptoms that happens before the onset of sudden attack. That it happens months or sometimes weeks, months or months before. and then a random pain around your left arm, sometimes could be the right arm or the back of your shoulder. These are called refer pain. This could be due to the nerve stimulating your heart and then the reflex. This is reflex. These are the pre-symptoms. But I think this slide I haven't translated yet. Chinese, translate now. If you don't have all these pre-symptoms, if someone does not have all these pre-symptoms and suddenly have a sudden death, then the only factor is the thrombus sudden form. They call the sudden thrombosis. It means the blood vessel is clear, it's very fine. There's no narrowing of the lumen. But just that the thrombus suddenly formed, the factor too much, causing the red blood cell all clump together, too big, and then cause the blockage. This is what usually happens on the young people, especially the athlete. The red blood cell, the athlete is fine. But why they die suddenly? Because of other factor. So today I'm not going to talk about, I already briefly mentioned the plaque formation, but this is not the key focus today because I'm focusing on why young middle-aged people die suddenly. I think it's not this factor. It's more on this sudden forming of thrombosis. So we focus on thrombosis. So thrombosis, they are one thing that can increase the rate of thrombosis. There's one factor, it's called free radicals. In Chinese, we call it 自由基, free radicals. Another term of free radicals is called reactive oxygen species, or ROS. This forming inside your body, when they get let loose, they usually get contained inside the cell. It's part of the byproduct of the metabolism. But as we age, the containment mechanism or the antioxidant mechanism is reduced. So some of these naughty little things start to spill up from the cells and go into the bloodstream and causing all this havoc. So is the free radicals or ROS. Most of the term medically, they use ROS as a term, but it's the same thing. So this is free radicals. They lack one electrons. They tend to rob the electron from a normal or healthy cells or your stable molecule. When it's become, in order to stabilize themselves, they will rob. For example, this is free radical, this is a stable one. So because it lack one partner, it's just like a chat without a wife. So he go rob other people's wife. So he got wife stable, but this thing become unstable. So it causes a chain reaction. That's why free radical can be so damaging. That's why aging process, when you start a certain age, when your body cannot contain these free radicals, the chain, one little free radical that released, you can cause a chain reaction. That's why the aging process sometimes can happen so fast. The wrinkle can happen overnight or within weeks or maybe days. So then the wrinkle comes. So this explains why free radical is aging, is oxidation process. So where does this form? What causes the free radical formation? So UV light is one thing. When UV light hits on the oxygen, it causes O3, ozone. Our ozone is formed like this. Ozone is very oxidative because superoxide. But even though exposed to plastic, also it can cause free radicals formation. So too much exposure to UV light is one factor. And then air pollution, all the chemicals and the monoxide and the exhausting and the radiation. Now we are exposed of all sorts of radiation, including the signal from your phone. Also can pass through some molecule and excite it and become a free radicals. These are the external factors. And then smoking as well. Not only smoking, your BBQ, your anything fried on your satay, anything fried and then smells so good, yummy, is oxidation process. And also it can, when you take it inside, it increases the oxidation factor. So it increases the free radical. So these are external factors. Now look at the internal factor. Inside your cell, there's a component called mitochondrion. This is where they burn away your fat, burn away your glucose and convert into ATP or convert into energy. It's in this process, like I mentioned just now, it will generate a byproduct, is free radical. But naturally, inside your cell, it has a counter factor, the antioxidant, the superoxide dismutase is one of it. Glutathione is another one, all the scientific name. But in general, it's called antioxidant. But it's as we age, this generation of antioxidant inside your cell reduce. That's why this free radical has a chance to escape the cell and then go around your body and causing all sorts of trouble, including cancer, if they attack your DNA. So today is not the topic is not on that. But another thing, inflammation. When your body, there's a foreign substance or your injury or other factors that cause autoimmune inflammation. Inflammation, though, especially the white blood cell, in order to kill the so-called foreign substance, they will release a lot of free radicals like a bullet trying to shoot. But if your body is constantly having an inflammation, you are exposing to yourself to a lot of free radicals in your body. These free radicals can cause increase the rate of blood clot or increase the risk of thrombosis. I will show you some research report, but at least I give you understand what is free radicals or the ROS, reactive oxygen species. If you damage your DNA, of course, all these free radicals can damage your DNA and your cell mutate and then, cancer. So a normal cell, if exposed to free radicals, then start to attack inside and outside, especially your membrane, and then eventually the cell will go oxidize. Really Chinese 炒皮啦, gedut lo. You're aging. Actually, aging is a process of oxidation. This is how you age. So not only today, although today's topic is about sudden death, I'm gonna explain how you can prevent and know your risk of sudden death. But if you know the concept, if you do it, you change your lifestyle, not only you can prevent the sudden death, the risk of sudden death, and also you can slow down the aging. We cannot reverse the aging. People have to get old and die. This is nature law. But we can control the aging so that you age gracefully. Not only your skin, your whole body age gracefully. Because as long as you find a way to reduce your free radicals, then you can stagger your aging process. Otherwise, you will notice your age will zoom like this. A lot of people experience, especially men around their 40s, right? Suddenly everything become like your body doesn't listen to the energy, is not there. So I will talk about it on the next topic. But in general, aging is an oxidation process. So if you understand that, now back to thrombosis. Now you understand what is free radical, you understand what is RS. Now look at what is the correlation with all these things. This is the thrombose, this is the blood clot. In a general term, it's called blood clot. Scientifically, we call thrombose or embolus. Embolus is something that flows, but if it's that long, if you see the ruler, it's like a 4 cm long of blood clot. If you clot in your lung, your lung cannot exchange oxygen, you die. It clot in your brain cannot function, you die. Your heart cannot pump, you die. So it depends on where it formed the clot. So, but reactive, so now you understand what is RS and thrombose. So what is the correlationship? So in this research report, these are the report that they mentioned, what I mentioned there is produced within your cell. Because antioxidant is not sufficient to contain the free radical, the RS escape. So when it escape, it go into your bloodstream, this is what they do to your blood. Generally, this is a healthy blood flow, the red blood cell flow fluently. But when your RS start to escape from your cell, it go party and then lap out in your bloodstream, it will trigger the cascade, clotting cascade. Then it causes the blood start to clump together, all the fibrin and fibrinogen start to activate. And then this is what happened. They form thrombosis. This is why your blood suddenly blocked. So because later on we're going to mention, now you have to understand, the thing the take-home message from so far is RS can increase the clotting of your red blood cell. Next, we want to find out how extreme exercise can cause increase in RS and also chronic stress increase in RS. Chronic stress, extreme exercise cause increase in sudden increase of RS. RS cause the blood clot form, you die. Okay, you understand the mechanism. So we want to, the culprit is the RS. So exercise and pro-thrombotic state, a paradox of cardiovascular prevention or an enhanced pro-thrombotic state. So they define it, okay, you say, well, you love saying what, you want to take care of your heart, you need to exercise, but then you tell me exercise can cause a heart attack. People find this is a paradox and that's really very ambiguous. So, but this, it would appear that on one hand, regular habitual, the keyword, regular habitual exercise can reduce the risk of CVD, cardiovascular disease, by improving an individual hemostatic profile. Hemo is about blood. It means it improves your blood stability or harmony profile both at rest and during exertion. Exertion means exercise. But on the other hand, vigorous exercise or extreme exercise, rapid exercise, may provoke sudden cardiac death in individuals with pre-existing vascular disease. Indeed, this paradox of vigorous regular habit exercise raises the possibility that as a two-edged sword of exercise may exist in relation to activation of hemostatic system and enhanced thrombotic genesis. So on one side, it can improve your blood profile. If too much of it, it can cause a thrombogenesis, that means formation of thrombosis. So the art is in moderation. So regular habit exercise is good for you. Vigorous exercise, no good for you. Next problem. Usually, you see what people do is they're so busy with work and then suddenly they see something, okay, I want to lose my tummy. Okay, like brother, come, let's go cycle. Brother, let's go play badminton. It doesn't have a habitual exercise. Suddenly go push yourself, think like you are still 20 or teenage, and then those smash. This is vigorous exercise, because when you induce your body a certain vigorous exercise, your body cannot handle it. It activate too much of the mitochondria to convert energy, metabolism shoot too high, but you don't have enough SOD or antioxidant to cap it. Suddenly your blood is bombarded with a lot of free radicals that cause a sudden increase of the clotting factor. Kaboom! Matay. Okay? Effect of exercise induced ROS on the pathophysiology of the skeleton. And so it affects your muscle. Same, your muscle. If you want to build muscle, slow and gradual. From 1.5 kilo, jump to 3 kilo, then 5 kilo. You don't suddenly, you want to show macho, you want to jump to 8 kilo or 10 kilo, and then you pull. You harm your muscle because of not only the pulling break your muscle, but the sudden too much of ROS also burn away the muscle. This is what the report trying to say. So proper exercise can promote generation of the level of ROS. Proper exercise is good, and the ROS your body still can handle. But too much exhaustive exercise can cause the body to produce too much ROS. Again, is ROS. Reactive oxygen species of the free radicals is causing too much trouble. So exercise, again, now you understand how exercise causes an increase in the free radical or ROS and causing the thrombosis. Then again, this is an example of the cases in Chinese also. February 2020, a young chap, 22 years old, badminton court. And then 35 years old teacher, play badminton, KO. This is again this year. So May this year, badminton again. Semua pun badminton. Sorry, Dato' Lee Chong Wei. I'm not saying badminton not good. You just see people not trained like you, ma. So suddenly go find play and then smash and then jialat lor, KO lor, 52 years old, bye. So this is a real set case. And then August 2020, again 40 years old, a male, play badminton, KO. So for all the middle-aged men, I'm 42, you are around my age lah. You have to admit that you're already in middle age, You don't try to act macho lah. So exercise is good, moderate. You don't have to chiong so much lah. Don't chiong so much lah. You chiong so much lah, you chiong to Holland, You show mati. So again, KO. So 52 years old, not only badminton, climb mountain also jialat, Hiking. Now hiking become a trend also. Badminton become a trend among the middle-aged men, maybe middle-age crisis, midlife crisis. So they want to become very fit and then go hiking. 52 years old, hiking, KO. So this is an example in the mountain, and then you need the hospital and the medical officer to carry you down. Same 42. This one is 62 years old in Johor. November 22, a lady last year in KK, but not Mount KK, another mountain. Same, suddenly pass out, KO, have to carry down. And then 52, again, hiking, carry down, mati. And then, not only hiking, bicycle also jalat. This one is a Singapore case. He do the 205 kilometer marathon cyclotron, whatever, long range cycle. He cycled 150 before he finished the thing. 150, he collapsed and died. And then again, diagnosed heart problem, heart attack. 56 years old. So it's a young chap, look fit, right? But now you have to think. Another case, this is Kedar, a teacher, a retired teacher, 56 years old, retired earlier apparently. Again, when he lost, his teammate couldn't find him. He found him in the trench. But it's not he died because of this fall. It's he has the attack, he couldn't control, and he fall. This is another case. So extreme exercise, why? Again people will confuse exercise is good, but why exercise cause that? The thing is the moderation. You need to go moderate. If you do not have the habitual exercise, then suddenly you exercise, you want to 1 week punya quota sekali push, then you are playing with your life. So exercise, you don't pia gao gao. You have to go slow and steady. You have to admit you're already in age. So, and then when you're in the badminton court, in Chinese word, 身不由己, it means because you have to chase the ball. You call it the ball. Badminton, when they start playing, you cannot control yourself. You have to smash but you have to always be aware. You are middle age already. You don't push too much, especially when you don't have the habit of habitual exercise. Suddenly you ram your RPM too much, right? You become 身不由己, means that your life is not in your hand. The ball can kill you indirectly. So the exercise, mati one already finished talking. Now I'm talking about someone who's just chill and relax, not a very active person, but always work in the office and a lot of work, and then or maybe busy at home, suddenly cook halfway, collapse, die, take care of children, collapse, die, or even in the office, on the way home, in the car, die, or die in the office. So these are not the exercise type. So what could be the composite? And then they die young as well. So chronic stress facilitates the development of DVT or deep vein thrombosis. So again, chronic stress could increase the platelet aggregation. Means platelet they already, and sympathetic, and increase the oxidative stress. Oxidative, it means ROS. That means oxidation increase as well. Again, it's the ROS. Your stress can induce a lot of ROS. ROS, again, when you have too much ROS in your blood, what happened? Clotting factor increase, and then thrombosis happen, and thrombosis happen, form a clot, you bye-bye lah. So stress, oxidative. And then there also another research that found there's a correlation between oxidative stress and anxiety. When someone is always nervous easily, so inside the bloodstream or the body system, there's just a lot of free radicals. This is a review summarized that the data to support link between oxidative stress and anxiety. Again, there's a correlation. It's a chicken and egg, is a two-way thing. When you have too much free radicals, you get anxiety, you get anxious easily. Or you con someone who is always anxious, then the body tends to have a lot of free radicals. They still couldn't find out what is the mechanism, but they noticed this pattern. This is what the research is trying to say. So again, this is a headmaster I mentioned. They died in June this year in the office. So the daughter, the news reporter go interview the daughter, said recently the mother is very stressful and couldn't sleep well because due to some, I don't know, according to the news, there are some conflict with the PIBG or the workload. That's why some teacher, they stand out and voice, they said teacher load is too much. Not only they have to teach, they still have to do a lot of report lah, KPI and so on and so forth lah. That's why they say the stress is just too much for the teachers to handle. So there's a term in Japan they call karoshi, means 过劳死 in Chinese, means overwork and die. This happened long before COVID happened. A lot of cases in Japan. You know, Japan is like the kamikaze culture. They just die for the company. They work from day to morning. And then not only Japan, now it's a worldwide. In China, there's a 24-year-old lady who worked the 12 hours per day. She only get to rest 2 days in a month. So eventually she just suddenly collapsed at home and then passed away. So stress, again, whatever, because these like just now I mentioned, the sports usually you see case are men, but women usually like they stay at home, then they just suddenly collapse. So women tend to think a lot. They are more emotional. So if you find your work and your family is too overwhelming, you really need to take care of yourself by finding some me time to reflect, because you're so busy serving or living your life for other people, your family or your children, you forget yourself. That's why somehow your inner stress has been accumulated to a state your body just strike. One day it just suddenly tell you, enough is enough. So you love your family so much, you really have first take care of yourself. So you have to find your own me time and walk away. I'm not saying walk away from your family or your responsibilities. I mean, sometimes you need to take a break from your daily routine. Because you wake up, you send the kid to school and then go to your office. This thing, you've been living for years, it becomes a habit. Once you form this thing, your emotion will also become attached together. You don't like this kind of life. So this emotion, you don't have time to jump up and look at what can I do to change. So sometimes you just randomly just buy a ticket and fly to somewhere for 3 days, 2 nights. Break the pattern, and then you will start to see, the only way to see yourself is to jump up from that thing. So this is what I'm trying to say. And then 深读, it means it's like when you're alone, people really need some me time to reflect. When you're alone, you don't bring your phone and then scroll lah. Sometimes you just have to let your mind be blank, and then so you can start to reflect. This is what you want in your life. You have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others. So, and then sometimes relax is not about being socialized or your friends or even families, or even your colleagues. When you are with people, sometimes you just have to consider what kind of mask you need to wear. Wearing mask is very tired. So you have to find your space. You can be yourself and reconnect with yourself to find a harmony so that your body can switch from sympathetic to a parasympathetic, which means it's a more relaxing space. So you will start to your body get a chance to rest. Otherwise, you constantly deal with people, you have to wear different masks, it's so tiring. Just one day, your body will just, for no reason, collapse. So something just let go. When it's time to let go, you have to let go. Otherwise, you will just KO lah. So if you find your relation is not good with your spouse, then you find a way to rekindle from where you start lah. Otherwise, one day you just KO. Those who have been dependent, those you care so much, suddenly lost their pillars, and then they are lost as well, and you are lost forever. So we have to find a balance in life. We have responsibility, we have commitments we have to fulfill, but first thing first, take care of your body. So over-exercise, sorry, again, I forgot to translate this one. Over-stress, and then also the possibility of reaction to vaccine. So these three things we have to find. So we have to looking in a very, not subjective, objectively. It means you have to be clear-cut. Sometimes it could be a multiple contribution. You have someone who have long stress, they think exercise can de-stress, but they do the wrong exercise, then KO. So someone, the body immune somehow just overreact to vaccine, not only the COVID vaccine, some other vaccine or some medication, it causes an inflammatory factor, and inflammation causes a lot of ROS, and ROS can cause blood clot. Blood clots from sudden death. Now you understand the mechanism. So different people will have different combination. So you have to be things. So if you want to find out what is your risk, what's the current risk, at least you know something, at least because whatever you do, you need to know your current state. So a good thing is there are a few tests you can do to know what is your clotting factor now. I mean, what's your risk of getting a certain thrombosis. So first, of course, it's blood test, because it's about blood. It's a blood, certain clot that can kill you instantly. So it's blood, then blood test can find out. So this item you can command for D-dimer test. D-dimer is a substance when your body try to break down the thrombose or the blood clot, they will release a protein. So if your body keep on forming thrombose, but your body keep on fighting to balance out, you will produce a lot of D-dimer. When, again, in short, if your blood test show a high elevation of D-dimer, that means you have to be careful. You have to find out why your body keep forming the clotting factor. Again, another factor is another item you can add on in your blood test is called CRP, C-reactive protein. It's under the liver function. So when your body has some inflammation or something your immune have to fight, you will see an elevation of CRP. So like I said, inflammation can cause ROS. ROS can cause elevation, sudden ROS can cause blood clot. Blood clot can kill you instantly. Another thing you can find out whether your body have, this is a standard item in your blood test. A standard blood test, the first page you will see your ESR, erythrocyte sediment rate. So if your ESR is high, that means there's something happening inside your body, the inflammation, which indirectly can increase the risk of thrombosis or blood clot. So inflammation can produce the ROS. So this is the blood test. The first page you see the ESR, but the other two items, the C-reactive protein, CRP, and then the D-dimer, you need to add money to add in the test. So up to you, you want to test, if you are past middle age, you're in the high risk group, and you know you are stressful, you know you are not eating well, then you might add this item to see what's your risk. If the number is not good, then you have to do something to change your lifestyle. So this is how you prevent it. Another thing you can try is like face anger. This is a relatively new thing. I will make another video to explain in detail, but in general, so it's a measurement of your quality of your cell, of your current cell, your body cell. So if your body is oxidized, your cells, the quality is not good. These phase angle, they can test the membrane, the quality of a membrane. How does it work? It's a machine. It's a machine we call the in-body, we call the bioimpedance analysis. This is not the typical gym center, take how much fat you have, muscle you have. This is more advanced than that. There's one additional item we call phase angle. One of the waves they can bounce. If your quality is good, they bounce back well. If your cell quality is not good, they bounce back not so well. From there, they can measure, can tell. So you have to know your phase angle number. If male, we have to want the phase angle number to be more than 6.2. For female, we want to be more than 5.2. So you can ask around. In our clinic, we have one, but we don't open for public. We're only for those who come for like Chinese medicine treatment. They add on to do the test, or you can wait until we conduct a talk. We will bring the machine, and then you can test, and then we explain, because it takes a lot of explanation. Or you can ask around. who have this in-body 970, especially this model. Not all in-body can test. Have to be the 9 series, then they can find the face angle. So you have to know what is your 垂死 means your sudden death risk. So with all these things, if you see the result is not so good, then you have to do something, because you know the problem is the free radical or the ROS. And I told you ROS, they rob the electron. So as long as you find something and donate electron, then you can buffer it. So like taking a lot of healthy fruits or organic, and then maybe some ionized alkaline water, or even some supplement there. So much supplement. Of course, you have to do your homework. Otherwise, you buy a lot. You don't know whether it's effective or not. You have to know your numbers. That's why you must have numbers before you try all these things. And then another thing is about calcaline. You can refer to a video I posted recently then to understand how calcaline can improve your antioxidant or the properties, what is the science behind it. Everything has to have a scientific base, including a certain depth. So I hope this video gives you, I know it's very long, but I hope this gives you a clear perspective instead of you worry in the blank and do I have the risk, or you don't know who will die next, because it's getting rampant, this certain death thing. All right, I'm E. Thank you for listening.